Tonight on Y News. Exclusive 17 foreigners convicted for illegal drug-related cases among convicts released through Good Conduct Time Allowance or GCTA. Department of Agriculture confirms disease that has killed hogs in some parts of Rizal and Bulacan as African swine fever. Number of jobless Filipino adults reached 9.8 million in June, according to the latest survey of the social weather stations. Zamboangueños commemorate 6th anniversary of 2013 Zamboanga siege. Good evening. For the first time, Senator Christopher Bongo visits the new Bilibid prison this morning. This, the senator said, is prompted by Yolanda Camelon's call. Camelon is the witness that has come forward to testify against the alleged GCTA for sale, which involves the Bureau of Corrections.
Na meron pong isang preso rito na 71-year-old na po at meron daw siyang gustong isumbong at ano po yung mga corruption na nangyayari at mga alleged corruption doon sa mga paraan po na sinasakyan po itong GCTA.
The senator also listened to the sentiments of prisoners in Bilibid, including their need for food, medical equipment, and medications. Senator Go said he plans to bring the problems to the president's table. 2 convicts released through the Good Conduct Time Allowance or GCTA system surrendered to the PNP Special Action Force or SAF. This after the president's call to all released convicts to surrender to the nearest police station or military detachment because of controversies hounding the implementation of GCTA. Leia Ilagan explains why.
Ladislao Abu and Armando Galang had been freemen since August 25th, the day they were released from the Iwahig prison and penal farm in Puerto Princesa City, Palawan. But this morning, just 2 weeks after, they went to PNP Special Action Force headquarters in Taguig City to surrender. Abu is 62 years old from Chaong, Quezon Province. He served his sentence for 27 years in the Iwahig penal farm for a rape case. Galang is 50 from Caloocan and served 23 years in the same penal farm for a murder case.
Siyempre po lumaya kami tuwan-tuwa. Paglipas po lang ng 2 linggo, nakita namin po sa TV na nagsaltang ating Pangulo na lahat ng pinalaya sa loob ng 15 araw ay kailangan sumuko. Wala akong magagawa, kailangan po kami sumunod.
They clarified they underwent the process of release and did not pay anyone for their freedom.
Wala pong hiningi po sa amin. Sila pa nga po nagbigay sa amin nung umalis.
Wala pong nangingin pera sa pamilya ko. Wala rin po kami para po lumaya po ako. Wala po kami pera.
They said they chose to surrender before the Special Action Force because they trust the unit and they feel safe. Their family, however, are dismayed as they need to go back to jail. The 2 were turned over to Bucor this morning. Ladislao and Galang are the 121st and 122nd ex-convicts who have surrendered to the PNP. Leia Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue, Taguig City.
17 foreign nationals convicted for illegal drug-related cases are among the convicts released through GCTA. They are Chinese, Malaysian, Singaporean, and Emirati. Leia Ilagan clarifies why in this exclusive.
Foreign nationals had been sentenced by court in accordance with Republic Act 6425 or Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972. Hui Shengbai and Ring Lo Ho from Hong Kong, Song Ching Kong from Malaysia, Hassan Riyad Mohammed from the United Arab Emirates, Kin Fa Chin and Tin Yong Bun Ayap from Malaysia, Chi Ching, Ho Kin San, Sum Wo Hing, Yoi Chan Chit, Pang Ho Wai, Li Pol Wong from Hong Kong, and Chat Fat Lim from Malaysia. Ong Michael Chan from Singapore had been convicted for the delivery, sale, distribution, and transportation of prohibited drugs with 12 to 20 years imprisonment and a 12 to 20,000 peso fine. Chang Lee from Albay was convicted for the importation of regulated drugs with 6 to 12 years imprisonment and a 6 to 12,000 peso fine. Shang Shentiz from Taiwan was sentenced because of the use and possession of illegal drugs with 6 months to 4 years imprisonment or 4,000 peso fine. PNP spokesperson Police Brigadier General Bernard Banak admits that those drug lords are difficult to chase and return them to court.
Nahirapan na nga tayo doon sa kanila sa pagtugi sa kanila at lalo na yung pagsampa ng mga kaso laban sa kanila. So ngayon nga na nakalaya sila ay nakakatiyak tayo na mahirap na talaga silang unang-una mahirap pasukuin.
If the foreigners are out of the country, the PNP have countermeasures.
Napakahalaga na mapigilan sila kung sakaling man magtangka at yung lookout bulletin ay talagang strictly na masunod natin. So doon wala na tayong magagawa. Maliban na lamang sa kundi impormahan na lamang ang ating mga police counterparts sa ibang bansa.
Based on the list, among the almost 2,000 released convicts nationwide, over 800 were accused of murder, another 800 accused of rape, 48 from illegal drugs related, including 17 foreign nationals, and 254 other cases, including robbery, homicide, and others. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Malacanang assures that rule of law will be implemented on foreign convicts who benefited from the good conduct time allowance systems and have left the Philippines. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
The Department of Justice are still verifying with the Bureau of Immigration reports that some of the people deprived of liberty or PDLs released through GCTA have already left the country. But DOJ Undersecretary Mark Perete says that based on the BI's preliminary report, no person with names on the Bureau of Corrections list have gone out of the Philippines. Malacanang say they have not received any official list of foreigners convicted for heinous crimes that have been released from the prison due to GCTA. The palace insists that the government will implement existing laws to run after said foreigners. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo has said that in case the foreign convicts has left the country, they will implement extradition or may coordinate with police for their rearrest.
Ano yung batas? The law says they will either be prosecuted or they will be deported.
Based on latest data from the DOJ, Bucor has custody of 76 surrenderers released under GCTA. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue.
The Health Department assures that pork in the local market is safe. This despite the Agriculture Department's confirmation that the disease that has killed hogs in some parts of Rizal and Bulacan as African swine fever or ASF. Ray Pelayo explains why.
The blood samples from hogs that died from a previously unidentified disease tested in Europe came back positive for the ASF.
20 blood samples have been sent, but out of the 20 blood samples, 14 are positive with African swine fever.
As for which the 35 strains of ASF virus has been found in the Philippines, Agriculture Secretary William Dar said they are just waiting for the result of another test to verify it. The affected areas in Rizal and Bulacan have been disinfected, Secretary Dar added. A total of 7,416 hogs were culled within 1 kilometer radius from ground zero of areas where hogs died from the disease. The Secretary said they are monitoring other areas where unusual swine deaths have been reported. Secretary Dar and Secretary Francisco Duque III of the Health Department assured the public the pork in the country is safe to eat.
Kung dalawang doktor nagsama, talagang safe na safe itong mga putahe na galing sa pork, mga karneng baboy.
Na kailangan po ang wastong paghahanda, malinis na pamamaraan sa paghanda ng ating pong mga pagluto ng karneng baboy. Kailangan po ito ay hindi half-cooked.
Swill feeding is now prohibited because it is suspected to be a mode of transmission of the disease. Measures are undertaken to make sure that pork in the market will not get contaminated. Look for the National Meat Inspection Service or NMIS seal to ensure the good quality of pork. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Malacanang believes the public has nothing to worry about after the confirmation of the presence of the African swine fever in the country. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says the Department of Agriculture can resolve the issue. However, if he were to be asked, he personally believes eating pork should be avoided. But he said the Filipinos must watch out for the formal advisory from the Agriculture Department.
I think there is no need to worry, considering that the DA Secretary has not cautioned us not to avoid or not to eat or to avoid.
Should we wait
Wala
a
pa
couple
naman
of
directive.
hours, sir?
Zamboanga City believes that 6 years after the Zamboanga siege, they have recovered since the terror broke out. Dante Amento tells us why.
As the city commemorates the anniversary of the 2013 siege, a special day of remembrance is celebrated. Today's program began with a wreath-laying ceremony in remembrance of the fallen heroes who sacrificed their lives during the siege. There were 20 soldiers, 5 policemen, and 13 civilians. A concert of valor is also among the highlights of the celebration at the City Hall grounds. The city government ensures they will not forsake affected residents. 90 families affected are still living in 5 transitory sites while waiting for their permanent houses.
Sa lahat ng ating mga IDPs, Muslims, Christians, and Lumats, there are 90 na wala pang mga bahay. Gusto pong namin ipaalam sa inyo, kaya kita manda sabi con ustedes, kaya gobyerno lokal, hindi con ustedes tadeha.
The city government assures, with help from security forces and our defenders, peace and order will abound in the city. Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue, Zamboanga City.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I'm Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. Meralco implements power rate reduction in September. Number of jobless Filipino adults reached 9.8 million in June, according to the latest survey of the social weather stations. PNP HPG starts manning traffic on EDSA today. Philippines-Singapore agree to boost ties further as Singaporean President Halima Yacob visits. Good evening. The Manila Electric Company or Meralco says more than 50 centavos per kilowatt hour will be deducted for consumers' electric bill this month. What a good news, right? Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Households powered by Meralco will experience a 53 centavos per kilowatt-hour drop in their power bills this September. This is more than double the initial figures projected by Meralco last week, which was 15 to 20 centavos per kilowatt-hour. From 9.56 pesos kilowatt-hour rate last August, electricity rate will decrease to 9.04 pesos this month.
As far as overall electricity rates are concerned, mula February 2018, this is already the lowest.
This means that for a household consuming a 200 kilowatt-hour of electricity a month, 105 pesos will be saved. According to Meralco, a decrease of 44 centavos was posted by the overall generation charge for this month. 24 centavos of this amount is the net settlement surplus ordered by the Energy Regulatory Commission, refunded to consumers last August 1, 2019. The stable supply of electricity also helped, which brought down the generation charge from the power plants.
Wala tayong instances ng red and yellow alerts. Unlike in the past.
This is the 5th consecutive month that Meralco's electricity rate has gone down. Despite this, Meralco advises consumers to be wise and thrifty on using electricity and turn off the lights and appliances if not being used. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasig City.
The Supreme Court has yet to take action on the petition to stop Meralco's bidding for the supplier of the 1,200 megawatt Atimonan project, which begins today and ends on Wednesday. The petition has been filed by the group Bayan Muna, who questions the new Department of Energy circular that allegedly allows the Manila Electric Company to control the bidding process and favor whichever company it wants. Bayan Muna believes that power rates will go up if Meralco is allowed to favor their own companies. Meralco, for their part, has yet to comment on the issue. Almost 10 million Filipino adults were jobless in June, according to the latest Social Weather Stations or SWS survey. Despite this, many are still optimistic more jobs will be available in months to come. Arlene Delgado tells the reason why.
The latest SWS survey shows 20.7% or almost 10 million Filipino adults were jobless last June. This was 1 point higher than the survey results recorded in May. Adults considered jobless are those who voluntarily left their old jobs, those who were retrenched, and those seeking jobs for the first time. The survey also found out that joblessness has been consistently higher among women than men and among 18 to 24 years olds. The same survey showed that 55% of Filipinos are optimistic and 12% are pessimistic about job availability in the next 12 months. This gives a record high net optimist score of excellent plus 43.
Yes po, mas marami pong job na darating sa akin.
Kulang kasi kaya huminto na rin ako kasi pamasahe pa lang pagkain.
The June 2019 SWS survey was conducted on June 22 to 26, using face-to-face interviews of 1,200 Filipinos aged 18 and above nationwide. Arlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Philippine National Police Highway Patrol Group or PNP HPG begins maintaining the flow of vehicles on EDSA today. They serve as reinforcement of the Metro Manila Development Authority or MMDA. Juan Huxon reports why.
The MMDA says most motorists are afraid of being apprehended by police. This is one reason why the MMDA has asked for the help of the PNP HPG on EDSA.
Kasi wala naman silang takot sa MMDA. Alam mo talaga, sobra yung pagbabastos nila sa atin sa kalsada for the reason na for the longest period of time yung mga enforcers natin kung ano-ano mga kalokohang ginagawa. So, ang hirap disiplinahin.
However, the PNP HPG will not be seen all throughout EDSA. They will man traffic only from EDSA Timog to EDSA Ortigas, as this is the most critical part of EDSA, the MMDA said. MMDA Traffic Chief Edison Bong Nebrija explained that the public must not expect to see abrupt changes as no policies have been altered.
This is not a miracle pill na magkakaroon tayo ng milagro ngayong araw na ito at mawawala na yung traffic. Kung pagsasanib na to, more than anything else, is strengthening our traffic management and enforcement as well.
Some motorists are in favor of this measure.
Mas maganda kasi mas magiging disiplinado yung mga driver. Unang-una, mas medyo iiwasan sila gawa ng mas mahigpit sila eh.
Ikaw ba mas takot ka sa polis?
Sakto lang naman.
Siyempre sila karamihan, natatakot yan sa kanila eh. Kaya malaki bagay po sila po.
Mon Hoxon, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Philippines and Singapore agreed to further strengthen ties during the 5-day state visit of Singaporean President Halima Yacob in the country. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte led the Philippine government's official welcome ceremony for the Singaporean chief executive today. The delegation of the Madam President arrived in Malacanang past 3 this afternoon. The arrival honors for the Singaporean President was transferred to the reception hall of the palace from the Kalayaan grounds because of inclement weather. This morning, President Halima led the wreath-laying ceremony at the Rizal Park together with Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso. The visit of the Singaporean President marks the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Singapore. The two governments also held an expanded bilateral meeting in Malacanang. The two presidents witnessed the exchange of 8 agreements between the two countries on education, agriculture, infrastructure, public utilities, cultural cooperation, and personal data collection. The two countries also agreed to further enhance ties through defense and security and trade and investments.
With mutual trust, respect, and abiding amity, I am confident that we will achieve our shared goals and aspirations of our people. We will forge ahead and bring our ties to even greater heights for purposes of cooperation and friendship between the Philippines and Singapore.
There is room to further boost trade and investment flows. We hope to make progress on updating the Singapore-Philippines Avoidance of Double Taxation Agreement and the expansion of the bilateral air transport agreement, which will increase connectivity and create more opportunities for collaboration and growth.
President Halima is the first female Singaporean president and first Malay head of state in 47 years. Tomorrow, she will have lunch with the Philippine-Singapore Business Council. On Wednesday, she will visit Davao City for a tour in the Philippine Eagle Foundation and a dialogue with the Mindanao youth. Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue, Malacanang.
President Rodrigo Duterte still believes in former Bureau of Corrections Chief Nicanor Paeldon. Malacanang explains why Paeldon has been dismissed from his position. Here's why from Rosa Licoz.
The government was able to collect around 37 billion pesos amount of taxes after former Customs and Bureau of Corrections Chief Nicanor Paeldon reported a businessman keeping cigarettes with fake tax stamps. And President Rodrigo Duterte will not forget that.
Paeldon, tarong na nga tao. I still believe in him. May panahon nga ay usa ka negosyante nga rin, tulo ka bodega ang sigarilyo, peke ang stamp. It was Paeldon ang nagserbato na kusir nga naa diha.
President Duterte did not dismiss Paeldon over corruption, but for not following his order. Malacanang said,
It doesn't mean anything. It's a personal statement of the president because he knows it personally. And the ombudsman will never be influenced nor intimidated knowing the ombudsman. Ombudsman Sammy Martinez. His reputation is solid.
Secretary Panelo, meanwhile, gave his own opinion on the implementation of the Republic Act 10592 or the GCTA system. He said if he will be asked by the Senate, convicts should serve their sentence.
Kung ano yung sentence ng court, minimum and maximum yun lang, regardless of good conduct or bad conduct. In fact, kung may bad conduct at recorded automatic, dapat dagdagan yung kanilang sentence.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue, Malacanang.
A convict from the New Bilibid prison confirms GCTA for sale during a Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing today. Grace Casan tells us why.
Godfrey Gamboa, a convict in the medium security compound of the New Bilibid prison, confirmed that GCTA for sale in Bucor is rampant. Gamboa is the common law husband of Yoli Camilon, the first to testify before the Senate on the anomaly. Gamboa has identified Major Mabel Bancil, who asked them 50,000 pesos in exchange of his early release. The GCTA for sale in the NBP is not a secret. But Gamboa questions why prisoners in maximum security has been released more easily than them who are in the medium and minimum security compounds. Gamboa said Bucor has failed to release him early. So they decided to came out to help other prisoners because others died in jail since they cannot afford buying GCTA. Gamboa and Camilon accused Major Mabel Bancil, Officer 3 Veronica Bunyo, and Document Section Chief Ramoncito Roque, with whom, according to their claim, they transacted in GCTA for sale.
Nag-usap po yung asawa ko at saka si Mababel na may tutulong daw po sa akin. So, Ang pinag-usapan daw nila, tinanong ko naman siya, magkano? Kasi alam ko na yun eh. Sa 2 years na nasa Bilibid po ako, ang dami pong salita. Ang dami po akong naririnig na sinasabi nila na binabayaran daw po. So, sabi ko, magkano pa?
Ano binabayaran? Para lumabas?
Opo, sir.
Para ma-GCTA?
Opo, sir.
Sabog na yung balita ng GCTA?
Sabog po yan sa Bilibid.
So, ang lumalabas, para malabas ka maaga, magbibigay ka, iba?
Opo, sir. Tama po yun.
Yun ang putok doon.
Yan ang putok po doon. Pero ang mga nakabilanggo, nakapareho ko, hindi makapagsalita dahil hawak po nila ang buhay namin. Paparusahan kami o ikukulon niya kami. Pag nagsalita ka agad sa bureau. Yun po ang totoo. Kaya po, 1 taon na pinapanalangin ko po na pag nakalaya ako, uupuan ko dito sa Senado para ibulgar ko itong mga katarantaduang ginagawa ng bureau.
During the hearing, the telephone conversation of Yoli Camilon and Bunyo during their conversation was presented, but Bunyo denies that she was one speaking to Camilon.
Ay ma'am, ang banggit kasi ni Boss Chito is magtiwala lang kayo sa amin ma'am ha. It's official business. So ma'am, negative na yung presence niya. It's in case po na mag-proceed kami dun sa area. Okay. Para kami na lang po yung mag-contract. Yes, oo. Para po negative na lang. Actually, para sabihin na lang din namin na follow up na lang with regards to sa paternity husband mo, hindi na po yung para nagsama kayo ng personnel from you or...
Ikaw ba yung nasa telepono?
Sir, hindi po.
Kanina, nung tinatanong kita, sabi mo, negative. Narinig ko yung negative din sa telepono niya, 2 beses.
Yes, sir.
Negative.
As form lang po sa amin sa uniform personnel.
Kaya nga, ginamit mo rin sa kanya, ginamit mo sa akin
Sir,
negative.
Hindi po.
Sa kanya, 2 beses mo ginamit, negative.
Hindi, sir. Hindi po ako yung kausap niya.
According to Gamboa, anyone can easily bring contraband inside medium security. They bribe guards for 500 pesos to bring cell phones and 1,000 pesos for TV. But this was stopped during the term of former Bucor chiefs Ronald Bato de la Rosa and Nicanor Faildon.
Sa naririnig ko po, dati po. Pero ngayong nung naging Sir Bato, si Senator Bato at saka si Sir Faildon, wala na po.
Wala na yan.
Opo.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to admonish our fellow senator because he's making signs that watching the witness. I noticed that when I brought in the witness, he came in.
Senator Panfilo Lacson received report that their 4 phones was confiscated in NBP Building 14 last month. One of those belonged to Raymond Dominguez, who was convicted in murder and kidnapping of car dealer Venson Evangelista. According to the source of Arsenio Evangelista, father of Venson and president of Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption or VACC, Dominguez can still post picture with his girlfriend on Facebook. The next Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing is set on April 12. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
12 teams entered the 8th season of the League of Public Servants, the UNTV Cup. The games open tonight and Aiko Miguel is at the Mall of Asia Arena to give us updates live. Yes, Aiko.
Yes, Alex, good evening. At exactly 4 in the afternoon today, the gates of Mall of Asia Arena opened for all the avid fans and supporters of UNTV Cup. Amidst the rainy weather condition, many still came to witness the opening of UNTV Cup Season 8. While waiting for the program to start tonight, viewers and supporters had the chance to inquire and avail of the free public services offered by some government agencies. SSS had an information petition desk for the benefits and loan privileges, verify loans and membership contributions. Pag-ibig booth offered online verification, membership, application and issuance of MDR and UMID ID. PhilHealth desk was open for those who want to know about the benefits and privileges of PhilHealth members. The program started, Alex, at past 7 tonight. To give our viewers an idea, Armed Forces or AFP is the defending champion of the UNTV Cup Seasons 2, 4, and 7. Judiciary with 2 wins from UNTV Cup Season 1 and Season 3. While PNP or the Philippine National Police won last Season 5 and Senate won last UNTV Cup Season 6. There are 2 new teams this season. These are the teams of SSS and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR. The champion for the season will receive 4 million pesos. Runner-up will receive 2 million pesos. Third placer will receive 1 million pesos and the fourth placer will receive 500,000 pesos. Those who will be at the 5th to 12th place will receive 100,000 pesos. To sum it up, UNTV Cup Season 8 has prepared 10 million pesos cash prize for chosen beneficiaries. Kuya Daniel Razon, the man behind the UNTV Cup, also delivered a speech to thank the teams and supporters and government agencies who always partner with UNTV. Alex, as of now, we are still waiting which of the 12 teams will play tonight for the opening of UNTV Cup Season 8. There will be a draw to be spearheaded by Kuya Daniel Razon. All are excited tonight to see which team will win for the opening of UNTV Cup Season 8. Meanwhile, succeeding games will happen every Sunday and the venues and time will be announced. And that is the latest live. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Aiko Miguel, reporting live from Mall of Asia Arena. Welcome back to Y News. Malacanang stands firm there is no irregularity in the transfer of high-profile inmates who testify against Senator Laila de Lima. Rosalie Cos explains why.
The government just wants to make sure that the case proceedings will be finished and nothing bad will happen with the witnesses who are testifying against detained Senator De Lima, so they were transferred detention. According to President Rodrigo Duterte, this is why they were transferred into the barracks of the Philippine Marines from the new Bilibid prisons.
Kunya na issue nga naay uban, wala ko ipapriso ngadto sa penitentiary. Muting lupa, gipabalhin ako da sa Marines. Ngano, tungod kay nahadlok ko nga daapay daghang bata-bata si Dilima nga nabilin diha. O kana mga testigos magkontra niya og naa diha, ihawon gyud na. So pag-abot og panahon wa na yung istorya tinuod.
However, Senator De Lima believes the administration just wants to further control the witnesses. But presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the high-profile inmates remain in the detention facility controlled by the Bureau of Corrections. The palace also remains firm that the primary reason for the transfer is the security of the inmate, which is legally valid. The official also compares this to the Witness Protection Program.
Now you have to protect. If there are lives endangered inside the prison cell relative to certain witnesses, dapat talagang i-secure mo yun.
However, the official is not sure if there is a court order on the transfer of the high-profile convicts. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
House Committee on Appropriations approves the 4.1 trillion peso proposed 2020 national budget. But prior to the approval, the committee asked for an executive session, which according to the committee chairman, is a common practice in the lower house. Joe Anano tells us why.
There was no objection, only manifestation, so madali din na approve namin.
After the approval, deliberations in the plenary will kick off tomorrow to be sponsored by House Committee on Appropriations Chairman Isidro Ungab. He is expected to defend the proposed budget. But other congressmen still have the chance to contest the budget allocated to a certain government agency. Meanwhile, House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano urged his fellow Solons to cooperate in the deliberations for the swiftly passage of the proposed national budget. Representative Ungab earlier disclosed that there were several congressmen who wanted to make some insertions in the budget amounting to around 70 to 90 billion pesos for public works projects in their respective districts.
I have to be frank and honest, mahirap talaga kasi malaki yung amount. Mahirap ma-entertain talaga yung kanilang request.
He also assures there is no pork barrel inserted in the proposed national budget. The plenary debate on the budget is set to be done within 2 weeks, while its passage in the third and final reading is targeted on or before the first session break on October 4. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
And for the news abroad, Kuwait's 90-year-old ruler has been admitted to a hospital in the United States for medical tests and postponed a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump planned for this week in Washington, state news agency CUNA said on Sunday, September 8. Emir Sheikh Sabah AlAhmed AlSabah, who has ruled the U.S. ally and OPEC oil producer since 2006 and steered its foreign policy for more than 50 years, had been due to meet Trump on Thursday. CUNA said that meeting will occur at a later date, citing a senior official in the Emir's office. It had said last month he was in good condition after suffering an unspecified health setback. He held public meetings with members of his cabinet in Kuwait before traveling to the United States. Various organizations that aim to bring aid to the survivors in the Bahamas after the onslaught of Hurricane Dorian assure help is underway. There is a risk of outbreaks of diarrhea and waterborne diseases, but the Pan American Health Organization, or PAHO, assures the measures are taken urgently. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
In the wake of Hurricane Dorian, dozens of organizations work hand in hand for the hard-hit Bahamas Islands. Some 7,000 to 3,000 people need food and shelter, according to the Pan American Health Organization, or PAHO. The risk of outbreaks of diarrhea and waterborne diseases is high, as drinking water may be tainted with sewage, PAHO said. But the organization assures help will be extended to survivors.
The Pan American Health Organization is supporting the Ministry of Health and the government of the Bahamas to provide urgent response to the health sector needs of the population. Our main interest is in ensuring that there's access to health care, providing clean water, sanitation, hygiene, and vector control services. We have launched an appeal to address the funding appeal to address the urgent needs of the health sector in the Bahamas. And PAHO will continue to coordinate the response.
Survivors meanwhile say they have high hopes of recovering.
We need help. So somehow, if they could help us to move it out and to fix this, or to fix the church, something can help for us, we could do it, and then we will say thank you for it.
I actually see progress already, so I do have hope.
Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
With the world spotlight on raging fires in Latin America in recent weeks, President Evo Morales' plan to expand big agriculture in Bolivia has come under renewed criticism. Marie Peñaranda tells us why.
In the city of Santa Cruz de la Sierra, a wealthy farming hub on the edge of the Amazon rainforest, President Evo Morales gathered with ranchers late last month to celebrate a maiden shipment of beef to China. An elaborate ceremony was staged to mark what was supposed to be a crowning achievement in Morales' plan to make Bolivia a global food supplier, entry to China's massive market, just as Beijing shops around for alternatives to U.S. producers. This year, Morales passed a rule to encourage more soy exports at the start of the dry season. Authorized land clearings in Amazonian provinces now raging with fires. Morales' support for farming has surprised some. But Morales is also keen to push for development and economic growth in Bolivia, one of South America's poorest countries. At home, his government is increasingly becoming known as an ally of farming and ranching interests, calling agricultural commodities the new gold that will help diversify the economy away from Bolivia's key export, natural gas. The Bolivian fires, which mirror those burning across swathes of Brazil, threaten to derail Morales' bid for a fourth consecutive term in office and another 5 years of Evonomics, his brand of capitalism mixed with socialist state intervention. Critics link the fires to laws Morales has passed, encouraging farmers and ranchers to settle in forested areas in recent years. That includes permission this year to use slash and burn methods to ramp up output despite a drought. The government has denied its policies have fueled the fires, calling it a lie and promising to invest whatever was necessary to regrow the forests. Morales, once a coca farmer himself, placed the blame on periodic droughts that hit hard this year. Marie Peñaranda, UNTV News and Rescue.
Hopeful and united thousands of Hong Kong locals enjoyed a concert with the theme Harmony in the Family Brings Prosperity that aims to boost their fighting spirit. Ferdy Batalio tells us why.
More than 10 music groups and other local artists held a concert to call for stability and love of China's Hong Kong Special Administrative Region.
We know that many people in Hong Kong have high hopes for the city, and many Hong Kong residents don't want the disorder to continue further. So here we just sing out what they feel inwardly.
Waving the flags of Hong Kong and the national flags of China, nearly 1,000 local residents enjoyed dozens of songs which they were very familiar with, presented by the local artists.
The concert is great. The songs expressed what the residents wanted to say. Residents living in the city of Hong Kong is like sailing on board the same boat. We hope that the residents would work together against the external anti-China forces. We should stay united.
The concert conveyed positive energy. We are all Chinese and Hong Kong is part of China. Of course, we hope that Hong Kong will become better and better and have a bright future.
The organizer said the concert was aimed at reminding the residents of the stability and harmony in Hong Kong and arousing more kindness from them, so as to stop the violence in the city.
We hope that the music can help the locals review the early days in Hong Kong, featuring harmony in the family brings prosperity, and arouse their kindness and fighting spirit, so as to restore the social order in Hong Kong and stick to the right direction of one country, two systems. That is our common wish.
Ferdy Batalio, UNTV News and Rescue, Hong Kong.
A group of skywalk masters from different parts of the group carried out an audacious performance in Russia to mark the foundation of Moscow. Nina Armilio has the story.
Moscow residents raised their heads and held their breaths as a team of adventurous enthusiasts walked on a tightrope between two of the city's tallest skyscrapers. Skywalk masters from Russia, Germany, France, and Canada carried out an audacious performance to mark 872 years since Moscow was founded.
Moscow City is a very notable site of the capital. We spotted it long ago and we have had this idea for 3 years. And today, we managed to walk it through.
Opportunity to walk on this rope during the city day is so cool. Moreover, it is also the heart of Russia, Moscow City. It is just awesome.
They walked 245 meters at the altitude of 350 meters, beating the previous world record by around 100 meters.
You are learning to control yourself, balance, strive for perfection, and try to be better. You need to become professional in order to avoid distraction.
Representatives of Guinness World Records said they need to do measurements before officially registering the record. Meanwhile, faster, higher, and stronger. 104 Russian runners tested their stamina, dashing upstairs all the way to the rooftop of the tallest building in Yekaterinburg. Athletes gathered from various parts of the country for the annual skyscraper run, hoping to defy last year's record and cover 52 floors of Vysotsky building in less than 4.43 minutes. Previous record holder, school coach Ivan Kuznetsov, supported his title, but could not outrun his achievement, finishing at 4.47 minutes. The winners got prizes of 10, 15, and 20,000 rubles, or $150 to $300. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this September 9, 2019. On behalf of Angelo Castro III, I am Alex Baltazar. And before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Na meron pong isang preso rito na 71-year-old na po. At meron daw siyang gustong isumbong at ano po yung mga corruption na nangyayari at mga alleged corruption dun sa mga paraan po na sinasakyan po itong GCTA.
Ano yung batas? The law says they will either be prosecuted or they will be deported.
Nahirapan na nga tayo doon sa kanila sa pagtugi sa kanila at lalo na yung pagsampa ng mga kaso laban sa kanila. So ngayon nga na nakalaya sila ay nakakatiyak tayo na mahirap na talaga silang unang-una mahirap pasukuin.
But out of the 20 blood samples, 14 are positive with African swine fever.
There was no objection, only manifestation, so madali din na approve namin.